Okay, today we have Westcliff University with us. Regarding the Westcliff University is located in Irvine, California, USA. Today we have Mr. John Mahan. Mr. John Mahan received his bachelor's degree in International Affairs and Cultural Anthropology from Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts. John has experience studying and teaching English in China. He has also traveled to many parts of Asia and Europe. John has been a part of Westcliff International Outreach Team in Irvine campus since 2019 and enjoys helping students achieve their post-secondary education goals in the US and online. Today, he is going to cover the most important questions that many have in their mind, which is how is online study beneficial for international students? John, you there?
Yes, thank you, Richard. I am here.
Yeah, the stage is all set for you. Please take over.
All right. How's my voice? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, it's audible.
Excellent. All right. Let me share my screen now, but thank you again, EACC, Richard and Sharon, for allowing me to speak to everyone today. And thank you again for that wonderful introduction. That was great. Let me present. Just move it over to the screen. All right. Yeah, as Richard mentioned, I'm from Westcliff University. We're in Southern California. And Westcliff University is a regionally and globally accredited higher institution that offers both on-campus and online degrees and certificate programs. So having been offering fully online classes for over 10 years now, Westcliff is one of the leaders of distance education. All of our degree programs can be taken in this format as well. I've been working in the International Outreach Department for some time now, and I've experienced firsthand a lot of changes we've gone through as a university in response to changing global market. And as an organization, we've seen the shifts in society. We've have been part of this change from to digital format, and we've seen how there's a greater demand for alternatives to traditional classroom. We'll discuss what are the benefits and limitations of this format and what we've done to address this as well. So let's kind of dive in now. What is distance education? First of all, what is distance learning? It's defined as digital education material designed to be accessed outside the traditional in-person school setting. So that's a broad category. It's a vast subject. And you might still be wondering, well, there's so many different types out there. One thing to hone in on are what are some certain characteristics that certain programs offer. So there is asynchronous versus synchronous, which means essentially synchronous is live, real time, where there can be done either in traditional format or online, and it is facilitated by the instructor. Asynchronous is not scheduled, so there are no scheduled meetings or exam times, but there is still assignments expected to be completed, and there will still be instructors there to grade your work. Where there's also now very popular self-paced learning, and that is fully automated. Students come in and will follow their own course. You might have heard of the term MOOCs, massive online courses offered in certain places like Coursera, Udemy, Class Central. You might even find some MOOCs from Ivy League schools like Yale, Princeton, MIT. Really, they're so kind of before I get into more of that, we have delivery methods too. So there can be hybrid, which really combines the different learning styles. So it can also be referred as blended learning. So we have face-to-face instruction with online learning, and it's a more individualized approach to learning. And whereas fully online is any class that's offered in a completely online space. And so there are no in-person meetings or on-campus meetings, and many are offered asynchronous format. So you might be wondering, how do I choose what program is best for me? There are so many options and free options out there. A lot of students, I learn a lot just from going on YouTube all the time. So it really is about what you are looking to get out of your education. These classes aren't substitute for earning a degree at this moment, not yet, if that's your goal. But you can absolutely get on, YouTube and for hours and look at, how to start woodworking or how to start paper mache or pursuing any of these hobbies. You can even pursue IT or coding or anything that interests you through either paid or free programs out there. Really, what you can look for are whether or not the program offers, a final exam at the end that offers a certificate from when you finish. You also see what kind of format it's offered in. Is there a live instructor? Is there support there in the program? Are there TAs involved? How is the interaction in class? Do you actually grade each other's work through peer review? Or do you have also an instructor who facilitates conversation outside of the classroom too? And in fact, just one stat to look out for is, according to Wall Street Journal, more than 90% of people who sign up for these massive online courses don't finish, actually. So it's still, even though they're widely popular, there are thousands of students who enroll every year, only a small percentage actually finish. So why is that the case? Well, there's a lot of, first of all, kind of to roll back, I want to explain that we've gone as a society through a big shift. And this is due to advancements of technology, greater access to internet, increased globalization. And so in the education sector, we've undergone, we can see that it's growing. From 2016, there was 6.3 million college students who enrolled in online classes. In 2019, this has gone to 7.3 million. And what comes with this increased access to digital education, we have improved accessibility and access. So students who may have impairments and may who not have the ability to access certain types of information technology, for instance, text-to-speech programs and programs that just transcribe dictated content can help improve the ability of all students to access the information presented to the schools. Those with visual audio challenges, as well as reading disabilities, all benefit from technology and allow them to learn and earn degrees. We have also more opportunity for students in geographic areas where they may not be able to access schools that are local to them. They will, with online education, students are able to access the best possible education for their given situation. They have a wider net to choose from. The internet has opened up the access to them. And personalized learning approaches, also a thing now, where everyone's not all being fit into one box in programs. We've seen the value of offering adaptable solutions for each student based on their weaknesses and strengths. So technology and online learning helps with this. We also are a data-driven institution, Westcliff ourselves. So we found that big data has helped us in a variety of ways. So we've been able to identify where our students struggle and where they thrive in their program. So we can then uncover particular patterns about students that excel in particular areas and maybe help them improve their learning experience. Another way is tracking greater trends within the student population, including student performance or professional outcomes. So we can better help us understand how our degrees impact their students, and it'll also be easier for us to improve the education in our offerings. So we're always constantly asking students feedback and getting their input on what it is that they want to see in their programs. And we always do at end of the session, assessment as well. So post-COVID education, the COVID-19, global pandemic, that needs to be talked about, I think, in regards to online learning. With school closures across the globe, millions of students were out of school and attended school remotely for the first time. So globally, over 1.2 billion children in 186 countries were out of the classroom. And this has led to, accelerate demand for EdTech and online learning options. So EdTech, education technology. So that's just a short term for us to include anything in relation to education and technology. So that could be language apps, virtual tutoring, video conferencing tools, online learning platforms. And meanwhile, the rate of growth of students enrolling in primary online institutions has increased for more than pre-pandemic growth rates. So we can see POIs in this case are institutions that offer where more than 90% of students were enrolled exclusively online. Their enrollment, their rate of enrollment has increased as well. There have been also innovations in communicating information digitally. We've allowed, with the COVID-19, it's necessitated countries and governments to accept online education as a viable option for their students, because really the alternative is much worse. Is without being in school for, remember from the beginning of the pandemic, we didn't know how long this would have lasted as well. So we were especially preparing for the worst case scenario, where the traditional classroom would never be available, right? Now, we've seen some innovation in a variety of regions. So in places like Brazil, Maldives, Kenya, Mexico, they've actually pushed for radio and television broadcasting. That offers, that is a direct and simple and affordable way for students to learn with these online, with these programs here. Of course, that's not going to be personalized to them, but it will offer a degree of access to education. We have also places like Kenya who are widening their internet coverage. They've actually partnered with Google or Alphabet Inc. and the telecom company there to let Google float loon balloons over Kenyan airspace. So these are high altitude balloons in the stratosphere that offer 4G service to the area. That's just one of the innovative ways we're allowing access. And then we're also supporting other platforms that offer free education. We see more consolidation of education services into these larger platforms. So we have UAE, United Arab Emirates, who is offering free education to over 50 million Arab school children with the digital teaching platform called madrasa.org. We have Tunisia, who's through Alexo, which is the Arab League Educational, Cultural, Scientific Organization, launched an e-learning initiative in March 12th, 2020, and that aims to actually ensure that students are still learning and teaching throughout the pandemic. So they have a dedicated website that aggregates a list of freely accessible Arab educational resources, platforms, and applications for use by students and teachers. Going forward, we have we want to kind of hone in on what it is that makes online learning so attractive to students, and what are the benefits too. So some research shows that on average, students retain more information, 25 to 60% more material when learning online compared to 8 to 10% in a classroom. And what we can also see, some of the obvious things, cost effectiveness. You don't need to travel, you don't need to pay for living expenses, and you'll still get the same recognition. When receiving the certificate, there's no other baggage attached to that certificate, but you'll be able to also balance your work life and study. And the other thing we mentioned earlier, the accessibility and greater access to the internet. The internet has allowed us to offer education everywhere in the world. And so now students have a variety of choices in content. They can have the entire internet at their disposal. So obviously some parts of the world have gated this content, but nowadays you'll be able to find at least a few programs that are widely available for you, especially since COVID. The government has been allowing greater access to education online. There are many free or low cost options available as well. What are the limitations of online learning? So I would say be careful of new programs or schools that don't typically offer online education. Many schools were forced to adapt during the pandemic, so don't be the guinea pig. Market saturation, which means there's so many more choices now. It might be more of a paralysis of analysis at this point. So really, there are some key things to look out for. What it is you want to get out of the program. What kind of method of delivery you would like to get, because there are some programs that don't take into account the time zone differences. So look for what kind of support is offered in this program too. Is there technology support when something happens? Do they have professors, TAs, who can actually speak with? Do they have live office hours, and is that suitable for your time zone? And so if you're not able to attend class due to if this is a synchronous format where you must attend some live class, is there an alternative option for that? And of course, there's the limited interaction. So that can mean loss of motivation to finish, burnout. So what's there in place to prevent that? Lack of access to technology and stable internet is, of course, a barrier to online learning as well. Actually, in fact, only 24% of public school teachers reported that all their students had access to a computer or tablet for use for schoolwork. That was according to a national representative survey of over 600 public school teachers. This was right at the beginning of the pandemic. So there was quite a big issue with moving online, for the fact that their students, especially elementary school students, don't have this technology. So, of course, online education is not the silver bullet for everything. However, for the students that are able to access live online programs, there are definitely programs out there that do it right. And for Westcliff, we offer the same high quality US education with equal degree recognition. So students will be able to will not be guinea pigs in this environment. We've been offering mature programs for over 10 years now. So this is over a decade that we've been offering live online. So we've had time to perfect this and get feedback from our students and revise our curriculum to adapt to this format. We also have live virtual interactive classes where participation is necessary. And if you aren't able to attend these classes, you're able to watch the recordings that are available. So that addresses time zone issues. We'll also, this format allows students to save on travel, living, and tuition expenses. And this gives students the biggest flexibility they can have. They can go to work in the daytime and pursue work in their local country while taking a US education online. We'll also have resources for students. So that includes a large online library, dedicated tech support. And finally, biggest thing that's helped us, especially during the pandemic, is that students are able to transition from online to on-campus at any time. So if you would like to even start in just a few semesters of online, just until traveling resumes and it's safer to travel, I would say, then you can always transition on campus afterwards. At Westcliff, we have the colleges of business, technology, engineering, education, and law. So College of Business offers the business administration degree in the bachelor, master, and doctorate format. We have over 24 different concentrations to choose from. And you can see here, I'm going to point out this green star. That's actually identifies all the programs we have that are STEM eligible. What is STEM? STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics related. So our programs are tailored towards meeting that demand. With STEM, students can actually work after graduation longer. So normally it's typically 1 year after graduation if they're here in the US, but if they take STEM, then they can extend it to 3 years total, working after graduation, part-time or full-time. You can also notice that some programs here in our certificates are live online only. So those are with the red star. So we have business administration, we have leadership, executive management offered in certificate format. Our College of Technology Engineering, we have our bachelor and master's in information technology. We have a master's in computer science and engineering management. And we also have our full stack coding bootcamp offered live online. And that's offered at the undergraduate and graduate level. And that can be tacked on as a concentration for your on-campus degree. So that could be part of the web development, web design field. Now, College of Education, we have Bachelor of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in TESOL for those ESL teachers looking for higher degrees and higher certification. So within that program, we offer 2 STEM eligible concentrations in EdTech and Coding for Education. We have our TESOL certificates and our Real Intensive English program. So the Real program stands for Reimagining English as an Additional Language, and students of all levels can attend to improve their English. College of Law is Juris Doctor degree program, and that is a 3-year program at Western State College of Law, which is our oldest law school in Orange County. So as you can see, we do offer quite a bit of on-campus programs, and everything you see here is available live online as well.